Hello and welcome everybody. This is Alex from Value Insights and I'm here today with another video for the ITIL 4 foundation exam. So it's video number 4 of the exam practice questions in a flashcard format. We're gonna have one more video besides this and then our series will be complete. So let's jump right into it. Question number 1. By which of the following terms is the functionality of a service or component known in the ITIL framework? Let's give it a thought and I'll be back in a sec with the correct answer. The correct answer for this question would be D. It is called the utility, which means if it is fit for purpose. It's a question if it does what it is supposed to do, because every service or component has a practice, and if it can fulfill its purpose, then it has the right utility. A says usability, which is not a term defined in ITIL separately. B says value, which is the perceived benefits and usefulness of something. And C says warranty, which is more about the fitness for usability of a service or component. So utility means if it does what it does, right? And warranty means how well it does what it does. So it's mostly about availability, continuity, capacity, and security of a service or a component. Question number 2. How does the information security management practice support the delivery and support service value chain activity? I'll give you a couple of moments to think about the answer and tell you the correct one in a minute. The correct answer for this one would be A. It says by ensuring that effective security policies are in place, right? It is all about having security policies which define what we are supposed to do and how we are supposed to handle and secure the informational assets of our organization. You know, what kind of passwords to use, how to protect our shared drives and whatnot, you know, like policies for proxy settings, for the internet usage, file sharing, and so on. B says by efficiently enforcing security policies, which is happening in the delivery and support service value chain activity, but it would much more be the access management practice or maybe even the service request management practice. C says by including security related consideration into our SLAs, which is the information security management practice, but it would be happening in the design and transition service value chain activity while the SLAs are actually defined with our customers and stakeholders. And D says by detecting and solving information security related incidents, which is, well, delivery and support, but it would be the incident management practice. Question number 3. Continual improvement related decisions should always be based on what? Let's give it a thought and I'll tell you the answer in a minute. The correct one for this would be C, which says accurately measured and meticulously analyzed data. Well, this is it, right? We need to make sure that whatever decision we make, especially improvement decisions, should always be based on accurate data, because only that is impartial. If we have valid data on our hands, we can make a clear decision, we can involve the right stakeholders, and then the decision will be based on actual data and not just on a gut feeling or on preferences on people and so on, because data is, again, impartial. A says a SWOT analysis like strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, which is also not a very bad option if I want to be honest, but it's quite a static thing in most organizations. It's not updated frequently, so not all of our continual improvement decisions should be based on that. B says an evaluated MVP, a minimum viable product, which is technically just a small piece of functionality which has been developed and is potentially valuable to our customers. So again, not all continual improvement decisions should be based on that, because it's just a very small fragment of what we are doing, of what our capabilities are and what our service solutions might be. And D says user and customer feedback, which is not a bad option if I want to be honest. Nevertheless, not all of the continual improvement decisions should be based on that, because user and customer feedback is not very impartial. Again, it's a lot about gut feelings and about perception of our customers, you know, how they perceive our services, maybe our service desk, maybe they have specific preferences, so it would be a biased decision again. So this one, the correct one for this one would be C. Goody, let's have a look at our next question. continually co-creating value with stakeholders in line with the organization's objectives is a purpose of which of the following? Let's give it a good thought and I'll tell you in a sec. The correct answer for this one would be A. It is the service value system, which is about continuous co-creation of value with our organization's customers and stakeholders, because they need to tell what they need and we're going to make sure that we can deliver just that. The service value chain transforms demand into value in the end, but it's a deeper level. It's not about this high level of co-creating value. It's much more about the little bit more specific steps that we have in the value chain that lead us to this value creation in the end. C says service management, which are the specific organizational capabilities that we have as a service provider organization that we will utilize to continually co-create value with our stakeholders. And D says the 7 guiding principles, which are, actually they are guidances, right? They are a mindset, they are a way of how we could achieve continual co-creation of value with our customers. But the main purpose of co-creating value is within the service value system. Question number 5. Value co-creation is done in which activity performed jointly by the service provider and service consumer organizations? Let's give it a thought and I will tell you shortly. The correct answer for this question would be B, which says service relationship management, and that it is exactly this. Service relationship management is all about having an understanding of who our stakeholders are and making sure that we can efficiently and effectively co-create value with them. Yeah, we work together jointly, right? That's the keyword here in this question, that we jointly perform activities between the service provider and the service consumer organizations. So it is service relationship management. A says service delivery, which is a one-side activity coming from the service provider organization, which means we deliver services to our customers. C says service consumption, which is the other end of this service delivery activity, right? They get the services, the customers consume the services that the service provider organization delivers. So it's a one-sided activity again. And D says a value stream mapping, which is actually just an exercise to understand how value flows through the organization, to understand which applications and services are involved in that and which teams are involved in that, which allows us to create a more agile organization. Question number 6. How does the knowledge management practice support the improve service value chain activity? And let's give it a good thought and I will be back shortly. The correct answer for this question would be A. A says by providing context for the assessment of achievements and improvement planning. Well, providing context means that whatever initiatives we had in the past or whatever improvements we wanted to achieve, knowledge management makes sure that the results and the conclusions are documented somewhere. So these can be made available for use later on. For example, when we are assessing our current achievements, we have a comparison to see how well we do compared to the previous achievements, to the previous improvements that we had, which will also help us to create better plans for the future, because again, we have a context. We can say that we are doing better or worse compared to the last time we tried to improve or do something. B says by identifying specific configuration items that often cause issues. Well, not true, because first of all, that would be problem management and it would be in deliver and support. C says by enabling new employees to easily access the knowledge most commonly used at the service desk. While it is knowledge management, because we might have a cool knowledge base on a service desk where we have articles which can be easily used and linked with tickets, it would be done in the deliver and support service chain activity. And D says by allowing stakeholders to make informed decisions when it comes to the implementation of new strategies. Again, that's knowledge management. However, it's done in the plan service value chain activity and not an improve. Let's have a look at our next question. Governance, management, and communication is a consideration of which of the service management dimensions? Let's think about it, and I will tell you in a sec. The correct answer for this would be C, which says organizations and people. And that is exactly it, right? We need to think about how to govern our organization and our people, how to make sure that our departments work together, how to control that they achieve their results, how to make sure that we don't have any bottlenecks, and so on. Right? We need to manage our organization and make sure that we have a good collaboration between different teams and the other parts of the organization. And it's also a lot about communication. Man, I've seen it fail so often. The right communication methods and frequency and stakeholders are so important in modern organizations. So it's all about organizations and people. A says value streams and processes. While they also might need some level of governance and management, it's mostly about understanding the flow of work and how we should achieve our goals, right? That's the purpose of value streams and processes. Partners and suppliers is all about understanding which partners we need, what our supplier strategy should look like, which partners to select, and based on which information to select them, to make the decision on getting the right suppliers which fits our profile of our organization. And he says information and technology, which is all about making sure we have the right tools and right information in place to make our services work as they are supposed to work so they can be seen as valuable by our customers and stakeholders. So governance, management, and communication is all about organization and people. Question number 8. Which of the following is true for the service desk practice? Let's consider these answers and I will tell you the correct one in a minute. And the correct one in this case would be, you guessed it right, C. It says it is important to have a high-level understanding of business processes. And it is so true for the services practice. It's so good if we have a good understanding of how our business works because it will help us to troubleshoot much easier and much faster because we get an understanding of what our customers do, how they work, how they utilize our services and our products and our infrastructure. If we know on a high level how they work with those things that we provide, it might be much, much, much easier for us to actually find quick solutions for our customers and handle their service requests in a manner they would appreciate. A says it handles all service requests, which is not true. While the service desk might handle a lot of service requests, it's certainly not all, as there might be special cases that need to be sent to second-level teams or expert teams in other places of the organization. B says root cause analysis of incidents happens here. Not true, because that is the problem management practice. And while it might happen at the service desk, it is usually not the main job of the service desk. They might be involved, true, but it's mostly done at expert teams because they have a higher chance of identifying recurring incidents. And then D says it connects stakeholders on strategic and tactical levels. Not true, that is relationship management practice because the service desk is much more about the operational level of the organization, not the strategic and tactical. Second to last question already. Ensuring normal service operation is the main goal of which practice? Let's give it a thought or two and I will tell you shortly. And the correct one for this one, and drum roll, would be B. It says incident management because that is the main goal of incident management. Make sure that whatever needs to work works and that we put it back on the business track as soon as possible if something derailed. If something is not working, some issues are occurring, we need to make sure that we provide the fastest possible solution to our customers, making sure that we actually reach our SLAs. Problem management would be all about finding permanent solutions for recurring incidents or for incidents where we don't know what is causing them, right? If we have an unknown root cause, that is all about problem management. C says the service desk, which is kind of good answer, and I might admit it might be a little bit confusing, but we should note that service desk is not only about incident management. It's not only about ensuring the normal service operation, but it's also about service request management. And it might be about problem management or even change enablement, because the service desk's main goal is to act as a main point of coordination or a single point of entry, or as I like to call it, for our customers, so they can reach the service provider organization if they need anything. And that might be incidents or service requests, changes, problems, whatever. And this says service level management, which is again not true, because that is all about ensuring that we have service levels in place which have been agreed with our customers, which are then actually enforced by the incident management practice, for example. But it's not about ensuring normal service operation. It's more about defining what normal service operation actually means according to our customers. And there we go again. This is the last question for this video, but nothing to be sad about because we have one more coming. So, which practice provides information of the organization's services by reporting on service performance? Ooh, that is a hard question. So let's give it a good thought and I will tell you in a sec. And the correct one here would be D, which is service level management. Service level management is all about defining the service levels with our customers, but it's also about reporting on those service levels that we have defined. So if we said that, I say something which could be a part of a service level, on a service desk, 80% of all calls need to be taken within 20 seconds. That is an SLA. But then making sure that this SLA is reported to the customers in a service level report, that is done by the service level management. They might delegate it to the service desk team leader, for example, but it's still the service level management practice. A says monitoring and event management, which is all about detecting happenings in our infrastructure that could have effects on the organizational assets and on our services, and making sure that we take the right actions based on the categorization of these events. B says incident management, which is all about, we have seen it in the question before, putting back the business train on track, so ensuring normal service operation. And C says service configuration management, which is more about understanding our configuration items, which we have in our organization, and how those config items connect with each other, how they relate to each other, that we have let's say a map of our infrastructure and services. Thank you very much for watching this video. We have arrived at the end again. If you liked it, we would very much appreciate if you could give a thumbs up, or if you could share it with your friends and colleagues and just spread the word to help others prepare for the ITIL 4 Foundation exam. Should you have any questions, feel free to leave us a comment, go to our webpage, have a chat with us, reach us on LinkedIn, or send us an email, or whatever. Otherwise, thank you very much again and see you in the next video.
Value Insights. Agile by vision, trainers by passion.